Prosecutors in Tokyo have issued an arrest warrant for Carol Ghosn, the wife of the former Nissan chairman Carlos Ghosn, on charges of perjury. She's believed to be alongside her husband in Beirut after an audacious escape from Japan last month. Carlos Ghosn is being investigated for financial misconduct, and Japan is seeking to extradite him from Lebanon, where he's expected to hold a press briefing tomorrow. Well, let's go now to Beirut. Our correspondent Molana-Allen is there. And Layla, is there any sign that Lebanon might in fact extradite Ghosn, who is, after all, a Lebanese citizen?
Very little sign of that at all. The Japanese authorities, as you said, there have several times expressed the fact that they would like to extradite Mr. Ghosn. Firstly, there is no extradition treaty in existence between Japan and Lebanon generally does not extradite citizens in any case, citizens of this country, and it has a history of safeguarding Lebanese citizens here who are wanted for crimes in other countries. So looking very unlikely at the moment that that will happen. The Japanese are putting on pressure. Today, the Japanese ambassador to Lebanon met with the President of Lebanon, Molana-Allen, and he said in a statement afterwards that he has said to President Allen that he really was insisting on more cooperation from the Lebanese government for risk of negative impact on their future relations and their close working relationship. And of course, what he's referring to is the fact that for years Japan has given a huge amount of aid. It's one of the biggest aid donors to Lebanon, development aid and also structural aid, as well as being one of the biggest investors, both privately in terms of private Japanese investors and publicly from the Japanese government. So a really long-lasting relationship between Japan and Lebanon there. At the moment, the Lebanese authorities seem like they are prioritising Mr. Ghosn's case over that relationship. And we saw when Mr. Ghosn first came in just before New Year that the authorities here, General Security, said that he had entered the country legally as far as they were concerned. They were not going to pursue him at all. And then sources inside the government actually said that several politicians had been briefed to tell the airport to make his entry into the country as easy as possible. So a lot of thoughts that the government participated in him coming in, and that's incredibly humiliating for the Japanese government because on two accounts, Mr. Ghosn, when he was being during bail trials, said that there was no chance of being a flight risk, and the fact he managed to get out of the country and the Lebanese government seemed to have helped him. Very, very angry making for the Japanese.
And just briefly, Layla, he's set to hold a highly anticipated press conference from Beirut tomorrow. Any idea what Carlos Ghosn is going to say?
It's extremely likely that he will repeat what he's said so far, which is that he was not fleeing justice in Japan, but he was fleeing injustice, the fact that he'd been held so long, that it looked like his trial was again going to be postponed until the spring of 2020, that he had been questioned without lawyers, all these things he's laid out, that many people in Lebanon actually agree with and say that he was treated unfairly. But I was speaking to some young Lebanese people tonight who said the problem is that even if he's right and he was unfairly accused in Japan, by fleeing from there, he has made the case now that he is the criminal rather than the problem with the Japanese system. So there's a real difference of opinion here with older people in Lebanon. Many of them love Carlos Ghosn and he's a national hero for being a great businessman, but many younger people now, particularly after these protests after the last few months, saying he's just another of the elites, he's being helped and given special treatment and he should face justice like anyone else.
Layla, thank you very much. Layla Molana-Allen there reporting from Beirut. And we will have special coverage of that press conference with Carlos Ghosn in Beirut right here on France 24 tomorrow at 2 p.m. Paris time.